Russia's interest in Ukraine dates back to the 17th century when Ukraine was incorporated into the Russian Empire. Since then, Ukraine has played a crucial role in Russia's economic and strategic interests, and Moscow has always viewed Ukraine as an integral part of its sphere of influence. This essay aims to explore why Russia wants to take over Ukraine, including historical and cultural ties, economic interests, strategic advantages, and geopolitical motives. Historical and cultural ties between Russia and Ukraine date back centuries. The two countries share a common Slavic heritage, and the Russian Orthodox Church has a significant presence in Ukraine. During the Soviet era, Ukraine was part of the Soviet Union, and Russian was the dominant language. Ukraine also served as a key agricultural and industrial region, providing the Soviet Union with essential resources. When Ukraine gained independence in 1991, Russia lost direct control over its resource-rich region, which has since become an independent state. As a result, many Russians continue to view Ukraine as a natural extension of Russia and see the current border as an artificial construct imposed by the West. Economic interests play a significant role in Russia's desire to take over Ukraine. Ukraine is rich in natural resources, including iron ore, coal, and agricultural land. Its location also makes it an important transit hub for Russian gas exports to Europe, with much of the gas flowing through Ukrainian pipelines. Russia has historically relied on Ukraine to export its gas to Europe, and the loss of control over Ukraine's pipelines could have significant economic consequences for Russia. Moreover, many Ukrainian businesses have close ties to Russian companies, and Russian investment has been a significant driver of economic growth in Ukraine. Russia sees the potential to increase its economic influence in the region by incorporating Ukraine into its economic orbit. Strategic advantages also make Ukraine a desirable target for Russia. Ukraine serves as a buffer between Russia and NATO, and Moscow is concerned about the expansion of the alliance to its borders. The Russian military has historically relied on Ukraine ports in the Black Sea to project power into the Mediterranean and the Middle East. The loss of these ports would be a significant blow to Russian strategic interests. Furthermore, Ukraine is home to several key Russian naval bases, including Sevastopol, which serves as the home of Russia's Black Sea Fleet. Russia's annexation of Crimea in 2014 was driven in part by a desire to secure its access to these strategic military installations. Geopolitical motives also play a significant role in Russia's desire to take over Ukraine. Russia views itself as a great power, and Moscow sees the West's support for Ukraine independence as a direct challenge to its geopolitical interests. Russia is concerned about the spread of democracy and Western values, which it views as a threat to its authoritarian system. Moscow has sought to undermine democracy and sow discord in Western democracies through disinformation campaigns and cyber attacks. Ukraine represents a critical front in Russia's ongoing battle against the West and its values. The annexation of Crimea in 2014 was a turning point in Russia's relationship with Ukraine. The conflict was sparked by protests in Kiev, which led to the ousting of pro-Russian President Viktor Yanukovych. In response, Russia sent troops to Crimea, and the region was annexed by Russia in March 2014. The annexation was widely condemned by the international community, and sanctions were imposed on Russia. The conflict in eastern Ukraine, where Russian-backed separatists are fighting Ukraine forces, has continued to simmer since 2014, leading to the deaths of over 13,000 people. Russia's aggression towards Ukraine has continued despite international condemnation and economic sanctions. Moscow has continued to provide military and financial support to separatists in eastern Ukraine, and the conflict remains unresolved. In recent years, Russia has also increased its military presence on the border with Ukraine. In conclusion, Russia's desire to take over Ukraine is driven by a complex mix of historical, cultural, economic, strategic, and geopolitical factors. While the conflict between the two countries continue to simmer, it is important to understand the root causes of Russia's actions. By understanding these factors, we can work towards finding a peaceful resolution to the ongoing crisis in the region. As always, we welcome your thoughts and comments on this important issue. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.